All right, so this one's a little bit about how you organize your Google Drive and keep track of things and how you can see different details about your files. So I'm going to go back a folder so that I have a little bit more to show you. All right, so when Google organizes your drive, automatically it puts folders at the top and then files down below. The folder icons are thinner and look more like an address label, where the file icons are thumbnails of what the file actually contains, which I really like, that you can see what's in the file so you can decide whether or not you want to open it. So this view I'm in, however, not everybody sees by default. This is called the grid view, and you can switch it by coming up to this icon and going between list view and grid view. It's a toggle. Okay. The problem with list view is that you'll see your files first, and then your folders first, excuse me, then your files after that. And although you do see for some of them a little graphic, it's hard to really tell what's in them. And it's really only pictures that you see the graphic for. The others, it just shows you the file icon. You do get these nice details over here of who owns the file and when it was last modified, but as I'm going to show you, that really doesn't matter. I strongly suggest grid view because you can see more files and folders up on the screen at one time. And you also don't have to really worry about those details of who owns the file and when it was last updated, because there is a details pane in here that we will show you in just a second. Okay, so to sort these files, you have these two buttons right here. Okay, you can sort them by name, when they were last modified, when they were last modified by you versus someone else, okay, and when you last opened the file. For most people, name is what you want, but occasionally you may switch to last modified. Then you have the up arrow, down arrow, and this just really determines alphabetically or hierarchically which way it's going to sort them. So you click on it once, and it will sort them in the opposite way, with your Z's first and your A's at the bottom, and same thing for your file names. Notice it doesn't intermix them. It sorts your folders and your files separately when you use these buttons up here. Okay, and again, just to show you a different view, you can do last modified. So using this grid view button and these sort buttons here, you can kind of arrange how your files look in these folders. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on name, and we're going to go on to talking about how you can see more details about. So I want to know who owns the file and when it was last updated. And this can be a folder too. So you'll notice this folder here is a shared folder, so it's shared with other people. It has that little share icon on it versus one that doesn't. So I'm going to click on that so that it's highlighted in blue. And then I'm going to come up here to my toolbar, and this toolbar is context sensitive. The icons you see on it change based on what you select down below. Okay? So I'm going to select that folder, and then I'm going to click on the I for information pane. And it's going to open up a side pane that has two tabs, details and activity. So the details pane shows me that indeed I am the owner of this file, and I'm sharing it with the list teacher group. Okay? I can see when somebody last modified something in this folder, which was 4 years ago, and when I last opened this folder. So I don't use that templates folder too often. If I click on a file, I see even a little bit more information. I see the type of file it is, how much room it takes up, and then that same ownership and file modification. You can add descriptions here, and those do show up when you're doing searches, but really the extra step that most people don't need. The activities pane is the interesting thing. So I'm going to click on a Google file, and then I'm going to click on the activities pane, because what it will show me here is every instance when somebody's interacted with that file. So if it's a shared file, you'll see a bunch of different people editing. So let me go over here to my shared drive, and I'm going to go into a folder, and I'm going to pull up a file I know is recently edited by other people, and then I can see the activity. It says you and 2 others edited an item, and then as you scroll through here, you'll see other people edit the item. Okay, so you can actually see the edits made by other groups of people and when access was given to other groups of people. Really useful information in case of a mistake or something happening, so that you can see who might have done it. Okay, so all of these files you see can contain who last worked on it and who last put any content in it. So the activities pane is super useful to track changes to documents and to see what might have happened if something goes wrong. Okay, so details activity. Just like in Microsoft, Google Drive has a right-click menu. What you right-click on determines what kind of information you're going to see. So if you right-click in a blank spot, you'll typically get the start a new folder or start a new file. And know that there is a more down here to get to other types of files. Okay, so that's right-clicking, and when you create these new documents, it will create it in the folder that you're currently right-clicking. So in that case, it would be My Drive. If I switch into a subfolder and I right-click, it would be created in there. Okay, that right-click menu changes when you right-click on a folder, when you right-click on a file, or when you right-click in a blank spot, just like in Windows. So right-clicking on a file gets you a whole bunch of options. In a little bit, we're going to talk about the share option, which allows you to share files in your Google Drive with other people or groups of people. Okay, get a link often makes that file public, and you can send that link to anybody. So be careful with the get a link one, because you may accidentally expose stuff that's in your Google Drive to people you don't intend to with it. Add to a workspace is a feature we'll get to towards the end of this lesson series. It's a new feature in Google Drive where you can create a priority workspace and organize your files, shortcuts into one spot. The files still stay where you put them, but they are put together for a project. Okay. Show file location shouldn't need from this menu because you are in the location where it is. So add shortcut to your drive. You can add shortcuts to files and place them in other folders. So you can have a folder reside in folder A, but have shortcuts to it in D, F, and Z, for example names. Okay, so you can put shortcuts in there. You can also put shortcuts to files in team drives or shared drives. Okay, move the file to a different folder. Add to starred, really cool. We're going to get to this side pane in a little bit, and that starred folder over here. So basically, when you put a star on something, it also makes it available to you as a shortcut over here in your starred folder. Rename the file, make a copy makes an exact copy. The only thing that will not come with that is the revision history. So if you're trying to copy all the revisions somebody made in a file and also have that in the copy, that won't happen. When you get a copy, it's a clean revision history, and it's a brand new start for that file from the state it's at currently. Okay, when you download files from your Google Drive, it automatically downloads them in their current format, unless they are a Google Doc, sheet, or slide, and then it downloads it in the appropriate Microsoft portable format, whether it's a Microsoft Word document, Excel, or PowerPoint. And remove, we'll put it in your trash. Okay, and again, we'll talk about your trash in these special folders over here in an upcoming lesson. This video is how to effectively search and find stuff in your Google Drive. So I do want to show you two quick little searching tips other than just typing in this box up here. One is you do have the ability to search only specific parts of your Google Drive. When you search up here at the top, you're essentially searching all of your Google Drive. So if you know that it's in a particular folder or one of its subfolders, you can open that folder and then click the little down arrow next to it and say that you want to search only within this folder. So then when you do it, you'll get a little box here that's in blue with an X, so that when you type up here and you do your search, the results that you get are only in that area. Okay, so that's how to do a search of a specific folder. You go into the folder first, click the down arrow, and then say search in this folder. You still have to type in the same search box up at the top, but it will only search that folder that's specified down here, and of course, any of the subfolders that are within that folder. Okay, to get out of that, you click close, and it takes you back to the general search results, which shows you where this search term is in all of your Google stuff, which sometimes is overwhelming. It can be too much information. Okay, so searching within a folder is one way to eliminate that. You can also, using these little quick box, when you click in the search, using these little quick people icons here, see stuff only from that person or only of that type. Okay. You'll also notice, however, that when you click here, there's an advanced search here. That's the same as clicking on this down arrow here and getting to this advanced search screen here. So this is really super useful. First of all, I can say I want to see only presentations, and then the owner I want to be a specific person, and we'll look for ones from my boss. Okay, so this will only show me presentations from that person. I can limit it even more to only in my trash, only in my drive, only in shared with me, etc. I can also say that have been only modified in the last 30 days, so only had changes. I can pick part of the file name if I know it, or I can say that somewhere in the file these words exist. So you have all those different options when you click it, and then when you click search, what you get is a much more refined search. So these are only presentations that Elizabeth Wood has shared that I have access to. Okay, whether she shared them with everybody or specifically just me, that's what I see here. Okay, and so you can always go in and further limit and say, I only want to see things modified in the last 90 days or since a certain date. Okay, so she has not shared any presentations with me in the last 3 months. So those are these quick bars here and that whole advanced search screen here are ways that you can search your Google Drive a lot more specifically. Okay, I do not believe, and I'm not 100% certain on this, that it searches your trash when you're searching here. So you may have to switch to your trash and search in there if you want to search for specific results from within your trash. Okay, and remember, anything that's older than 30 days automatically gets deleted by Google from your trash. It only stays in there for 30 days. All right, so searching your Google Drive.